Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and a real privilege to be here. Let me just. So, a couple of months ago, I was attending a conference in Sri Lanka, and we all were queuing up to do a check-in at the hotel. So most of the delegates were there at the same time. So after I checked in, walked into the lift, a couple of delegates were there together. We landed on the seventh floor, I recall. I walked left to my room, and another gentleman from the same conference walked to the right. So there I was, using my card, my key card, right? I was trying to slot it in, not working, do fast, do quickly, do tap. You know what I mean, right? So I tried and didn't work. Beep, 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 no access. Then I turned around, the gentleman on the other side, just once, and beep, access given. All right. I tell you, the lock was gendered. No, I was just kidding, right? But metaphorically speaking, right, this is the status of we women in leadership, isn't it? Right? So everything, the credentials are the same, same conference, same lift, same flow. There we are, here I am trying so hard to slot quickly sometimes, slowly sometimes, try all kinds of ways, but access denied. And then there's a gentleman who walks in there and then beep, it's open. All right. So, but when I was standing there reflecting to get access into my room, I thought, we don't have to wait for permission, stand in the corridor and wait for permission to enter the doors. The age of disruption today is giving us the opportunity to sometimes design the systems, yeah, re-engineer the very system that denied our access. And we can today be the architects, in fact, of the buildings, right? So I just want to start off by saying that the age of disruption today is amazing for us to rewrite who is going to be at the table. So I just wanted to begin with this saying that, yes, this is the hard truth, okay? So if you look at this, yeah, we are in an industry that is truly, truly powered by women, isn't it? We are powered by women. The consumer market is building, the billions of dollars is in our favor. And our industry is also powered by women as employees. Just look around the room, just turn around, look, just look. We are powered here, However, we are not accessing our rights at the table, right? And this contradiction, it doesn't make strategic sense. It doesn't make business sense today, isn't it? So, and this is something that we really need to think very carefully about because it's not about numbers here. It's truly, truly not about numbers. But in today's context, looking at the numbers in favor of women as consumers and as employees, it is time for us to make business and strategic decisions. Okay. So if you look at some of these figures, right, what is happening? We are dropping at the top. Yes, some people have told me that we are making progress, but look, the incremental progress that we make is not parity. And parity is not the finishing line. More women at the decision-making tables to make really, really strategic decisions today for our organization is the finishing line. Am I right to say that? Yeah. And I think we got a long way to go. But there is something that we can do. Now, how many of you here in this room, you work for companies with less than 30% women in leadership? 30% is actually a big figure, actually. 10%? Just to highlight something, we've only got 5 women GM in Singapore. Only 5 women GM in Singapore. Not a good thing. Right? You would think that it's one of the developed countries as far as hospitality is concerned, but no. Right? So I want to say that why is it that this conversation, or even Rise today, is so important for a very, very, very critical time in the history of hospitality? We are at a time of disruption. Why? Because the market forces are now towards an alignment, meaning to say many organizations are restructuring. So if you look at the sustainable procurement of many companies today, even as far as corporate governance is concerned, many organizations are looking at DEI as part of the corporate governance and sustainable procurement. We are also looking at a time where there is a major generational shift today. When you look at the woke generation, you know the woke generation? The Gen Zs, all right? Now, the Gen Zs, they don't want incremental process. You know, as an academic as well, I work with the Gen Zs and I have a lot of conversations with them, and they will not work for organization where they see a lack of women visibility in leadership. They don't want to stay with organizations where there is a lack of DEI as part of the company policies. They don't want to be an organization where there is no equity and parity. Now, when we are looking at a next generation of employees, we need to think very carefully about this group of Gen Zs or the woke generation. Am I right? Yeah. See, whenever I go for conferences in our industry, we always hear that there's a lack of manpower. Am I right? Lack of manpower. I think it's the same over here. Not enough people, not enough staff. However, it's not about a lack of manpower, it's a lack of talent development. We are losing talent at every single level, right? So if you look at these figures, earlier I was showing the figures about how we are lacking women at every single, until when we go to the top, there's an average of about 10 to 15% women only at the top. We are losing it. Right? So what we really need to do is make a concerted effort to ensure that we have women not only at the entry level, but as we go higher and higher and higher, how are we managing talent development? We talk about talent development in so many organizations, but in hospitality, earlier the speaker was talking about investment in training. We are lacking that sort of talent management here. So I'll just very quickly share 4 pillars of what we could do. It's very difficult for me to finish all these in under 30 seconds. Let me have a dialogue with you during the tea breaks and lunch breaks. So the first one I would say is AI is giving us an amazing, amazing opportunity to level the playing field at the moment. We don't have an all boys network anymore when it comes to embracing AI. And AI is not just ChatGPT. Right, it's beyond ChatGPT. So really, let's look at how we could hard code the algorithms that provided that basis for bias and prejudice. So let's look at how we could look at AI as an enabling tool for us to make corrections in our structures. The other thing that AI is also allowing us is to have mentoring globally, right? And we can embrace many of these technologies that are there. The other thing that I want to talk about, and the earlier speaker also mentioned, is about capability and talent development. What sort of talent do we develop? AI for sure. We have to invest more and more. While companies are looking at the opportunity to invest in staff, as far as AI is concerned, there's enough research to show that the training of investment is on the men in the organization and not on the women. Right? We need to correct that. We could also look at certain development in the area of revenue generation skill set. Again, financial literacy is one of the impediments when it comes to women's trajectory. Let's invest in the training with regards to revenue and revenue generating roles. And the third area that is amazingly wonderful opportunities are happening to us is in the area of sustainability. And almost 90% of the people that I work with when it comes to sustainability training and consulting, there are women. There's ample opportunities for us to skill ourselves in the area of sustainability and be in positions that is going to make a difference today in hospitality. So The third is where we can make structural changes within organizations, and that is something that we can speak about as we are having a dialogue. And finally, I want to say that let's change the entire ecosystem, whether it's mentoring, whether it is companies are not investing enough in mentoring in our hospitality industry, while even in the area of military, I work a lot with other organizations in other industries in terms of mentoring. We need to do a lot more development in that area. So I want to conclude by saying that I know there's a lot over here, but you have the slides. But I just want to say that the whole idea of International Women's Day about accelerating action is not a hashtag. It's really a time for us to decide, will we act? Will we accelerate actions? And will we take the charge of making changes in our industry? So with that, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nisha.